Well, 7 alternative options are now being considered for the controversial Wheels to Wings cycle route. Following the government's announcement to ditch most of its funding, councillors are now forced to go back to the drawing board to discuss the future of this project. The councillor that represents the community most affected by these decisions is Herwood Councillor Keown. Aaron, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, morning, Chris.
I don't expect you to list off the 7 options, but it seems to me, if I'm on the right track here, that it starts from the most amount of money to the cheapest costings in these options. Is that kind of right?
Yeah. So the staff have come up with 7 different ways to solve this conundrum, which is the Herwood Road cycleway. And you're right, one is the most expensive, so that gives you the most cycleway possible. And the other one is the least expensive, which is the one that I'm favouring at this point.
So the option being the least expensive is what?
Is to only do the connection down from Matson's Ave to the railway line, which is the railway line's possibly one of the best cycleways in all of Christchurch, and you pretty much never get any complaints about that or money that's been spent on that. So we're just connecting up with that, which is the new Norway Stark, and the local councillor, Victoria Henstock, and myself fully support doing that part. And the other part, which everyone in my ward is thankful for, is the Herwood Breens Gardeners traffic lights. So those 2 bits get done. The rest of it just gets put on the shelf for now.
Aaron, just very briefly explain to us, why has this project been so controversial in the first place? If essentially it's providing additional transport options to make it safer for everyone.
It's been controversial because of the way that the cycleway was designed from the start. It's just been far too over-engineered. It was never a simple cycleway. All the options that the local public supported and wanted were dismissed. They were more than happy to have a cycleway down the middle of the road under the trees. They were happy for a more, shall we say, less over-engineered lane down each side. But once it come to losing parking and losing an entire traffic of flow and costing $30 million, people start to get upset.
They could have easily argued, though, isn't cycling good for everyone?
No, cycling's not good for everyone. They try and sell it on that. Cycling is not dangerous, and that's often how they try and push through these over-engineered cycleways. When you look statistically at cycle-related deaths and injuries, cycling's actually fun and cool and is good for your health, but you don't need an over-engineered superhighway to get down the road. Just get on your bike and go.
Aaron, the council staff said in a press statement yesterday that making cycling safer was their main priority. So, could this be a predetermined, self-fulfilling decision?
They do say that, but where are the facts to say that building these cycleways makes cycling any safer? I really question that. And when you look at the cycling deaths, and I had someone go through and analyse them quite closely about 18 months ago, I think they did it, of the last 10 years, the people that had been unfortunately killed in Christchurch. And I believe from all the analysis they did, none of them would have been saved by a cycleway because of the type of accidents they were and where and how they happened. Having the over-engineered cycleways never would have saved them.
What has your community told you about this latest news, Aaron? What are they saying?
Oh, they don't really know these new 7 options.
It is pretty new, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is very new. But from the feedback I've had from my public for several years is they want the Herwood Breens Gardeners traffic lights. That is overwhelming. And they don't want the over-engineered cycleway, and that is overwhelming. Anything beyond that is basically, once again, forcing a cycleway on a community that they don't really want.
Well, that brings me to my next question. It's no secret that it is possible that despite your community's reservations, the most expensive option could be chosen. So therefore, is that democracy?
No, it's not represented democracy in the sense that when a community overwhelmingly wants something, that's what the community get. It's more of a dictatorship, and sadly, local politics seems to be swaying from facilitating to dictating. And we've seen a bit too much of that, and it's a concern.
What is your message then for ratepayers, for voters, for your constituents when it comes to this, controversial project? I mean, they can have their say. What do they do and how do they have their say, Aaron?
They just need to speak up and let the council know their position. Next year's an election year. You've got a number of councillors that often say we need to listen to the local communities. They know best. They know their community best. So let's see if those councillors will vote in the way of what our community wants when it comes to this particular road, or will they know better? And then they should be called out next year in the election if they're going to be dictators over the wishes of what a local community wants.
Christchurch City Councillor Aaron Keown, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Cheers.